Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it is a translation of a message that I received. So the narration reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? You can call me Rudo, not my real name. So, Brother Nashi, I grew up in a very poor village and I come from a very poor background. So, life was very difficult for me, and after that was when I decided that it was far much better that I go to Harare so that I can start working there. And then I started working as a maid. Then it was in the year 2018, that was when I ended up meeting up with this other man. So this man was staying in that same area where I was working. So he used to come, and each and every Christmas holiday, since he was working in South Africa, he would come and he would see that this man, he was making a lot of money in South Africa. He always had the latest phones, the latest fashion. He really looked great and he was a kind man. So I spoke with him after I had told him some of the things that were happening to me at the place where I was working. Then he said that it was far much better for me to leave the country and to come with him to South Africa. At first, I did not want to go to South Africa, but he told me that as a maid in South Africa, because he had so many connections, I would end up making a lot of money, so much that I will be able to take care of my parents, the ones that I had left in the village, because the people that I was working for, they were not giving me a lot of money. So I spoke with this man. Then in 2018, when he came back home, that was when he said that he had enough money that he could give to those people that could smuggle me into South Africa. I said it is fine. I was going to pay him back later on. So I then came to South Africa with this man. We started staying in another area, but he told me that he had this other man that we were supposed to meet. When we were in Zim, I did not know that this man, he had so much money. The moment that we arrived in South Africa, I saw that he had a very beautiful car which he was driving, as well as a beautiful house and a family. And I thought that finally I had made it in life. And this man was telling me that he was in communication with this other man. So this man, he was an agent. What he does is that maybe you might be looking for a job. You can get in touch with him on Facebook or WhatsApp. Then you talk with him. Then you meet and you have sort of like an interview, and he goes with you to the place where they will be looking for a maid. So I was more than happy, and I said that finally I can get a job like what Tafazo was telling me. He said that you are going to be making a lot of money. So there was this other night, all of a sudden, he told me that we were supposed to go to Hillbrow. So he picked me up, then we went to Hillbrow. When we went to Hillbrow, that was when I met the man who was to be the agent who was going to hire me. I was really scared because I had never seen such a scary place in my life. When we were there, that was when I was told that I was supposed to be taken to another house where I was going to be working. When we drove there, Brother Nashi, that was when I found out that I was now a victim of human trafficking. I was then beaten up because the guy who kidnapped me, he even had a gun and he wanted to shoot me with that gun unless if I was going to remain quiet. That man, he beat me up. I was led back to Hillbrow. Till this day, if someone says, I want you to show me what Hillbrow looks like, I really do not remember, since I was never allowed to go outside alone. Whenever they would allow me to go outside, they would be waiting for me. All that I had to do was to stand in the street whilst I was waiting for the customers. Then after sleeping with them, then they would grab the money from me. So at that time when I was taken to this other place there in Hillbrow, I found out that in the room where I was, there were a lot of women from different countries, South Africans included, those young desperate women. We were locked up in that room, and these people, they started to force us to take drugs. So what they started doing was that the first time when I was locked up, they made me to smoke some cigarettes, and this was the first time ever in my life to smoke a cigarette. When they saw that I was now used to smoking cigarettes and I was getting addicted, that was when they started giving us the type of cigarettes that they would dip into the drugs, and then we started getting addicted to the drugs. From there on, then we started taking weed, but the weed that they would force us to smoke, it was weed that was mixed with drugs. I was now a drug addict. So what they will do is that there were men that would come, those ones that love to buy prostitutes, and then they would come to us, and then they will choose the type of a woman that they would want to sleep with. If the person would choose me, I would go with him to another room, and in that room, that is where we will end up sleeping. And after sleeping together, then the person will pay you the money, but the money will not be yours. The money will belong to those people that were keeping us hostage. I would cry whenever I would think about my parents, saying that right now my mom is thinking that maybe I am enjoying here in South Africa, but here I am. I did not even had the opportunity to see what Johannesburg looked like. I am trapped in this house. We were not even allowed to go out. They would buy food. They would buy anything that we wanted. So what they will do is that the girl that they would feel like they were trusting that girl, then they would allow that girl to operate and to work on the streets. When my time came, when they started trusting me, that was when they would allow me. But what they will do is that those men, they will be sitting in a car and they will be watching you. When you have a customer, they would know and they will say, give us the money. There was no place to run to, because those guys, they used to beat other ladies up, those ones that would have tried to run away in front of you. So they were really making us to feel scared. So my opportunity to run away, it only came when on this other day I saw a police van. That man then stopped the police van and he said that he wanted to purchase my service as a prostitute. The man then paid me. After he had paid me, he then said that I was supposed to climb at the back of the police van. So I did. Then he slept with me. When he was sleeping with me, then I started to cry, and he asked me the reason as to why I was crying. Then I told him that they were keeping me hostage. We were not allowed to do anything. This man then kept on coming back. What he was doing now was that he would come and he would pay my bosses as if he wanted to sleep with me, but he was now doing the investigations. He was gathering the information and he was taking it back to some people that were working as undercover. Then that was when there was a raid. After the raid, we were also arrested. We were arrested because being a prostitute, it is illegal, even though we were being forced to do this prostitution business. When we got arrested, we were then released on bail. When I got released on bail, that was when one of the girls that I was with, she is a local woman, she said, it is far much better for you to run away because you have nothing, you have no papers, you have nothing. Now that you have been released on bail, why don't you find another place to go to? Because of the trauma, I was traumatized a lot. I did not want to see Tavazwa anymore since he had been arrested. That was when I ran away. I was scared that maybe I would get kidnapped again and forced to become a prostitute. I came to the farm where I am working right now, and my husband, because when I came to this farm, that was when I met this man that I am staying with. He does not even know that this is what happened to me the first time when I came to South Africa. He does not even know that I was once a prostitute. This is my confession. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister. That was the narration of that message that she sent to me. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.